River, traveled the gorge all my life. What we saw today was truly saddening, and yet in many places along the way where the fire had occurred, it appears many of the trees will survive. So in some ways it wasn't as bad as we thought it might be. You've heard our delegation's commitment to resolving the fire borrowing and fire funding issue. We also have to make sure that the Chief of the Forest Service and the men and women who work there have the authorities and tools they need to prevent catastrophic fire, to get in and work in these forests and do the work that needs to be done to reduce the fuel loads. I want to thank the firefighters and the first responders who have done incredible work, clearly every day and every night, but especially on the day when the fire broke out, to rescue those hikers who had gone up there for a swim or a view and never thought they'd be hiking all the way up to Walden Lake. I want to thank the Hood River Sheriff, Matt English, and his team, the search and rescue team, who were also part of that rescue and recovery effort that could have turned out in a very, very bad way. Yesterday, I had the opportunity to meet with the Chief of the Forest Service. He literally was sworn in at 11 o'clock yesterday morning, and then we all flew out. And so, Chief, we're really honored that you would be here today. I especially appreciate your commitment to restore this area in a timely way. This is the national scenic area. It is not the national burned out snag area. I think as Oregonians and Washingtonians on both sides of the gorge, we need to come together, put our shoulder to the wheel, and do what we do best, and that is restore an area and make it scenic again, and as soon as possible. And you have my commitment to help you in every respect in Washington to do that. As I said, this is my home. Hood River is still pretty nervous. We're up at Odell today getting the briefing. Look, there's enough whitecaps and wind to windsurf on the gorge. It is the windsurfing capital of the world. These winds we know well. They are kicking up again. And unfortunately, they're going, from a Hood River perspective, to the east, which means that end of the fire could kick up and burn toward the county and toward the city, at least the outskirts. There are evacuation warnings there. People are just being told to be ready, just be cautious, to watch. But we know how these fires can spot going forward. We know how tinder dry and the amount of fuel we have. Look, it's been a tough year in the gorge. Between the ice and the snow and the closures all winter and the broken down trees and all, there's a lot of fuel load out there. So let's keep our first responders and those who still are ill at ease with this fire in our prayers and our thoughts. And with that, I thank you all for being out here today. And again, thanks to our firefighters and first responders.